I'm Des Taylor, and this is
Will Robson,
and we are at
the Comicave
in Dubai, live and direct.
Yes, we are.
So, Will, you know what? It's been fun hanging out with you all. I won't say all weekends, but last couple of days and stuff. So, what's been your highlight being in Dubai so far?
Well, it's a pretty impressive store, right? Like, I've never seen a comic book store like this. It's
a temple, really.
It is. Yeah, that's the perfect word for it. It's a temple, and it's pretty mind blowing. I love all of the Hall of Justice sign and things like that. Obviously, the Iron Man stuff is
it's freaking awesome.
But it's not just that. Like, I honestly, like, all the staff has been amazing. Everyone's been so lovely. This is the best. This wasn't a convention, but this has been like the best con experience I've definitely ever had.
Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah.
Wouldn't it be great if they had sleepovers here?
You know what? Oh my God, yeah. As a kid, when I was a kid, we used to, in the States, I did a sleepover at like the Smithsonian or the museum. In America with all the parents would go with their kid, and it was great. You get locked in the building and you get to walk around. As a kid, I can totally see all this sleeping bag. I mean, as a kid, walking around and taking hours to properly study all the toys and statues.
You know, the kids would just go for the Funkos.
Oh yeah,
and
that's true.
Start ripping them open.
Oh, that's true. There's a lot of liability of kids just ripping everything open.
But no.
Yeah, maybe not the best idea, unless everything's in glass or something.
It's so totally cool. Do you know what? There's a question I wanted to ask you. We were talking earlier on about experiences with some of our comic book heroes, and now since sadly hearing George Perez passing away, shortly after Neil Adams, we all have these amazing experiences. What has been one of your best experiences meeting your comic book heroes?
Well, there's a couple of people still on my checklist that I really want to meet. Like Greg Capullo, his Batman run with Snyder.
Yeah.
Is why I went, do you know what? I want to be a comic book artist.
Oh.
Because I was teetering at school, what do I want to do? Yeah. And that Capullo art is so ingrained in me for being such a big Todd McFarlane fan.
Yeah.
So he's a big one I really want to meet.
Yeah.
But in terms of people that I have met, I told you my Todd McFarlane story on the phone with him where I made a complete fool of myself. I'll tell that real quickly right now, where I did a gig with Todd McFarlane, which was amazing. It was a Spawn book, and he loves to call people on the phone because what he does is, he loves when he's drawing a cover or inking something or going over a business itinerary, he chats on the phone. He's old school.
Yeah.
So they were like, "Oh, Todd McFarlane's going to call you in 3 hours." So I was absolutely bricking it the whole time because he is my biggest art hero.
Yeah.
And I remember listening to a podcast of this artist called Ryan Otley, who worked on Haunt with him, and he said in the interview, he said, Todd McFarlane said to me, I can't remember what it was, but it was like, you got to go up to bat, right? Oh no, I know what he said. He said, so you're this famous Ryan Otley artist I've been hearing all about.
Yeah.
That's how he started his conversation.
Right.
And he did the same thing to me when I called him on the phone. He's like, so you're the famous Will Robson I've been hearing all about. Which, come on, that's my hero. So to hear that, amazing. And I said, damn right. And he loved that. And he's like, that is the best answer you could possibly give me.
Bit of confidence.
And he's like, I like people that have confidence, like a base, he loves baseball. He's like, you're like a baseball player ready to go up to bat. And I didn't know how to respond to that. So I was like, put me in, coach, I'm ready to play. And there was just silence on the other end. And I was like, what did I just say? Put me in, coach, I'm ready to play. And he went, anyway, so this book that we did, my soul melted. It just melted.
I have a similar story.
Yeah.
A very similar story. Back in '92, I was invited backstage to meet Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
And I got tongue-tied, mouth is dry, and didn't know what to say. So he's just come over, and he said, "Oh, hi, you're Des." because he knew me from the artwork I was doing for his fan club magazine.
Yeah, no, I remember so I do a podcast called Spider-Man the Animated Series podcast, shout out, where we talk about Spider-Man the Animated Series, and we had Des on there, and he told this story as well.
Yeah. So he comes over and he says, "Hi, Des." And I was like, "Hi." He goes, "I love your work." And I'm like, so we gave him this piece of artwork that I did, him dressed in a smooth criminal outfit. And then cool. I didn't know what to say to that, because, this is the king of pop. I just said, make sure it's your best performance tonight, because I'm watching. And literally everybody around just looked like, did he just say that to the king of pop? I was like, okay. Yeah.
Did you moonwalk out the room after that?
Exactly, man. I was like... But that was funny, man. But anyway.
It's funny. Did you meet George Perez at all?
Just at a glance, San Diego Comic-Con, I think John Semper introduced me to him. It's just basically a handshake. You know what I mean? It's George Perez. And then obviously I just said, you know what? Yeah, total ledge, mate. And I loved you from your Wonder Woman run. And he just said, oh really? Thank you, man. Thank you so much. Yeah. And that's how I got into Wonder Woman.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I mean, I like the Linda Carter stuff, the TV show, but I had rarely been into Wonder Woman at all. A few covers I used to buy, and then all of a sudden, when George Perez did that run, I was hooked. I couldn't believe how much detail was on the cover. I was like, this wraparound cover, that must have taken months.
Yeah. I mean, he's a big influence for me, and he's a big influence for an influence of mine, who's Todd Knock.
Yeah.
Because he just, for instance, when I started my recent DC book I started, which is Earth Prime issue number 6, out June 21st, if you want to pick it up. When I got given the script for it, the book is full of characters, and there's a couple of splash pages in it where I'm drawing 60 or 80 characters on the page.
Whoa.
And the first thing I said in my email response was like, wow, I better put my George Perez hat on for this one. And so it's crazy that all this stuff happens. So yeah, rest in peace,
and
George Perez.
You got a Neil Adams story?
I do. I told it to you yesterday. Yeah. Another time I embarrassed myself. He was at a New York... he was at a London convention, and I was 22 or something at the time. And I was hanging around his booth, just because, you got Neil Adams' original art in front of you.
Yeah.
So I was just browsing. And he was schmoozing with people, like, what he always did. He was amazing talking to people. And then he just turned his focus to me.
Yeah.
And he's like, interested in buying? And, I'm a 22-year-old kid, a struggling indie artist. I've got £3 on me, and that's all I have. And I was like, yeah, mate, really interested in buying. And so, I don't know why I lied like that. He's like, oh, well, what piece do you like? And I was like, do you know what? And I was like, tapping myself down. I was like, man, all I got is my card on me. And I held it up. And he's like, I accept card. And I just stood there, completely caught in a major lie, to the point where I just turned around and walked away. I went, But then I saw him a few years later. Obviously, he didn't remember me at all.
Yeah.
And he gave me amazing advice, which I will happily share
now.
You
were saying,
to any artist.
Yeah.
If you get offered a big gig from an advertiser or an outside source, what you should do, and this is great advice, is whatever you think you should get paid, ask for double it.
Yeah.
And it will always be negotiated down to a higher rate than you
wanted in the first place. Yeah.
And I've tried it a few times. It doesn't work all the time, but when it does, I always think of Neil Adams in that sense, because he was just like you.
Yeah.
You're an artist, but you're also a very good businessman. And Neil Adams was exactly the same.
Yeah.
The dude knew how to get the worth of his work.
Of your work. And you know what? The other lyric I like to say is, when you're trying to negotiate a price. And the client doesn't want to say anything, you really don't want to say anything, I usually just say, he goes, oh, how much do you want? And I say, give me an offer I can't refuse.
Right.
Ball's in your court now.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you better hit it back straight, because if it hits the net, then I'm missing.
See, that sounds cool coming out of you, but I'm the type of guy that says, put me in, coach, I'm ready to play. So if I said, like, you're going to give me an offer you can't refuse, like, it's not going to really work.
You know what? whilst we're here, me and Will, we went out to cinema. We were invited by these guys at Comicave to go and see Doctor Strange. So if you haven't seen it, you best just turn off right now because me and Will, we're going to kick it.
So you want to talk about that?
Yeah, I want to talk about it, man.
Well then, spoiler alert. There's going to talk about...
Spoiler alert.
Spoilers for the Doctor Strange new movie, so please turn this
off. Turn it off. You've been warned. I don't want to hear nothing in my DMs.
Don't turn it fully off. Like, you know, put it on mute until we're done. We'll go like this when we're done talking about it, so you know that it's all right.
So starting.
Now, Mr. Fantastic being turned into string cheese. Peggy Carter getting Darth Mauled.
She got Darth Mauled, man.
Big time.
Oh, man.
Yeah, so as I said to you, I know, and look, I am really picky in stuff that I enjoy.
Yeah.
But I don't say it was crap, and that's a fact.
Yeah.
No, if you like something, great.
You're fine.
If I don't like something, that's my opinion as well.
Yeah.
So I'm a tough person to please with stuff, which I hate about myself, honestly. I wish I could just enjoy anything. So I'm sitting watching Doctor Strange, and I'm like, man, this is feeling really cookie cutter, like, oh, we're in New York City, there's a big monster, like we're fighting it.
Usual thing.
Yeah, and I was just like, I don't think this is for me personally.
Yeah.
And then after that, Illuminati showed up, and people were just getting messed up. And I'm a huge Evil Dead fan as well. And for me, because even that point, that's what piqued my curiosity. I was like, oh, okay, like, all right, so they're doing something interesting here.
Yeah.
And then all the death stuff, I was like, okay, maybe am I enjoying this movie? And then the moment Undead,
people
Doctor Strange, turned demons into his cape.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm in. I love it. This is great. I'm having a good time.
Whoa. But yeah, that Illuminati scene, that sort of messed me up. And what they did to Patrick Stewart was just total disrespect.
No, I loved it.
Yeah, man, that was key.
Yeah, but I did really like that. Like the moment Xavier went into Scarlet Witch's head, I was like, yeah, here we go, right? This is a battle of the minds, right? Because that's what she's known for. Yeah. But he's Charles effing Xavier, you know? Man. So I love that she was in a bunker in her own mind. Yeah. I thought that was really clever. But I also love that Patrick Stewart never turned around to see the giant red cloud coming.
Red cloud, yeah.
Because he knew. Yeah. He was dead.
He was dead, yeah.
Just knew it.
Yeah. But it's sort of like, on a downer, the Illuminati, they weren't good for nothing, man.
Well, yeah, it just shows how powerful she really is.
She really was. And you know what? She did an excellent job.
Oh, amazing.
In that film.
Well,
so,
yeah. She was Carrie in that film.
Yeah.
Just going and just slaughtering people.
Yeah.
I saw something recently that even said, like, you know, how she had the Ultron oil across her face. That was just like the baptism of blood of Carrie.
Of Carrie, yeah.
And I was like, that's a really great shout out. And the Bruce Campbell bit was hilarious.
That was hilarious. Yeah. We stayed to the end. That was funny.
All right. Spoilers done. Yeah.
Now we're back.
Yeah.
In the Matrix, but we won't talk about the Matrix because that film sucked.
In your opinion.
In
my opinion as well. But
yeah. In most people's opinion,
there are people that like it.
Yeah, you just need to that franchise. I don't know where that's going to go now. What's the next up? Next up is
the Thor film.
Thor films with one of your favorite directors,
Taika Waititi. I love everything. Jojo Rabbit's one of my. Have you seen Jojo Rabbit?
I haven't seen Jojo Rabbit. No.
Such a beautifully made film.
Yeah.
And Scarlett Johansson in it acts up a storm. There's a heartbreaking scene in that, which I won't spoil, but just such a. I think he's really funny.
What he did in Mandalorian with the two biker scouts was it was epic.
Yeah, I really just like his work, and so I'm definitely in on this next one because I was done with. I didn't really like the first Thor. I fell asleep during the second Thor. So one of the only movies I've ever fallen asleep during.
So your gripe with the second Thor is how they managed to think that Greenwich was just a few stops on the Bakerloo line. Like, what? What are you on about? Or the Central line? It's on the other side of London.
That third one came out of nowhere, and I just loved it. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. So, what's that? Ragnarok. Ragnarok was funny, man.
Yeah, that was good.
But you know what we were saying earlier on about the first phase, you could see up to the Avengers that it was all leading up to something. But now I'm confused. I don't know where this is going.
We are in the multi-Marvel of madness right now.
Yeah.
But you know what? I was thinking about, we were saying like, oh, I don't like it, but I at this point, I'm okay with it actually.
Right.
Yeah.
So you got 9 years in you to wait for the outcome.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Fair enough. 60 and stuff. Like
we got some pretty cool stuff out of that new film, and yeah, there's nothing telling us what's the big bad really at the end besides Krang, but Kang.
Kang Conqueror.
I should know that. I drew him. He was a big baddie in the Spider-Ham book I did.
You know what? We're going to switch to DC. Right. Seeing as you'll be drawing a DC book very soon.
Yeah. Well, I got Earth Prime issue 6 coming out next month, and then I'm currently working on a secret Batman project that I can't talk about, but it's my first time drawing the Bat. I cannot wait.
So yeah, I'm quite jealous about that. Yeah. I'll be even more jealous because Superman's my bag.
Well, I drew Superman a lot in the book I just did.
Yeah.
He's the TV version, but that dude pretty much looks like Superman anyway.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, well, we were talking about DC. DC. Where are we with DC? Do we dare talk about Aquaman?
I'm not touching that.
If you're watching the Amber Heard trial, you know what I mean? Yeah.
I personally, I really don't like much of the DC movies at all.
All right, okay.
I didn't even like the Batman. I know people love that film.
I love the Batman.
Yeah, I didn't like it. And again,
what's the reason why again?
I don't really like Batman learning to be Batman. Like he went off.
Is he supposed to be Ray and just like training, just know how to do everything?
But he went off and trained for 13 years around the world to become an expert at everything. To come back and not be able to start a Dodge Charger, like, come on, mate, right? Like, you would think that the Batman has trained with Formula One races.
Formula One races, but you know what I mean? So it happens to the best people.
Yeah, and I really didn't like the interpretation of Riddler. I thought that was way. Oh, spoiler alert if you haven't seen the Batman film. Now.
Man, you should have seen it by now.
I thought Riddler's interpretation felt way more like Hush, where he was had a similar upbringing to Bruce and all this stuff, and it's all connected in this way. And I think Hush would have been a way stronger villain. And also the riddles, like he just solved it like immediately. There was no fun to like him having a really hard time solving it.
When the man had the bomb strapped to his neck and he had to figure it out,
got blown up.
Oh, but I was like, I'll be dead after the first one. I couldn't solve that.
I just think they stuffed a bit too much into it. And as I said to you, the biggest gripe I had with the film was the whole flooding at the end, and what they said was, they leading up to calling himself Vengeance. First of all, if he's calling himself Vengeance, people wouldn't they be like, well, who are you venging? He'd be like, my pet, panda bears. Like, it'd be a bit spoilerific if he said his parents.
No, obviously, he could just lie.
But the whole theme of the movie was, it's not, Batman's learning that he's not vengeance, he's hope. And I don't like that at all.
No, Superman is the hope
and
thing.
The scene of him, helping that woman at the end of the film and him like being like, oh, I'm hope. I don't like that.
So, break down what that means, right? When people say Superman means hope, in your eyes, what does that mean?
I think to me that it's because worst comes to worst, any physical threat to you or the planet, there's Superman. But not only that, it's that because he's the Boy Scout, right? He's the good guy. Yeah. He has all the tools to destroy the Earth and everyone in it, enslave them to the most disgusting things that someone like the Joker would do with those powers. Yeah. And chooses not to do those things. That's hope in just humanity. Even though he's not human.
Oh, I thought you meant
that's
like,
hope in humanity.
I hope you don't do nothing to me, because that's obviously that's big.
I'm just saying, in terms of just being civilized in a way, it's hope that people can be good. Yeah, that's what it means to me. What about you?
Oh, pretty much what you were saying. If you're trapped in a burning building, not even a burning building, right? If you are like trapped in a cave and the whole thing caves down, you're just in there. There's no other superhero that's going to help you. There's none. There's none.
Not as well.
Name one. All right, well, Spider-Man stuck to the city. Iron Man's, you know what I mean, doing Iron Man rich stuff, rich man stuff. The Flash has got to hear you. Only Superman can hear.
That's true. That's true.
And then use the X-ray vision to see where you are, and there you are. That's what hope is, you know what I mean? I hope Superman can hear me. Otherwise, boy.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But, yeah. What else did we cover? I asked you a question earlier on about a celebrity. If there was a celebrity that you would most like to sit down in a hotel bar and actually buy a drink and talk on a level, rather than be, oh my God, I loved you in this movie and I love everything you're doing. Who would it be?
Well, the answer I gave you, which is not a comic book answer, but it's a director and writer called Mike Flanagan, who I think is the best horror creator out there right now. And I see similarities in interviews I've seen of him where he talks about his greatest fears, which is, you know, unreasonable fears of ghosts and all this stuff.
Yeah.
And it scares him so much that he was like, well, why does it scare me so much?
Yeah.
And can I emulate the fear that I feel to make other people feel it? And I love that. And his favorite movie is Jaws, so is mine.
All right, so you have something to bounce off with him.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I just think he's doing really great work. And I would just love to talk to him about his influences. He loves the Resident Evil, which is a huge franchise that I love as well.
Yeah.
So I just feel like I hear things that we have in common in the sense that I feel like I could have a decent conversation with him, without being like, so tell me, what was it like filming Doctor Sleep? Because he doesn't care about that. And I can read that in a magazine somewhere, you know?
Yeah.
What about you?
Yeah. Oh, I've got 3. 1, Keanu Reeves. 2, Samuel Jackson.
Mate, screw my answer. I want to sit down with Samuel Jackson.
Exactly.
Now that is a good time.
You've just got, a good time.
The stories he would tell.
Because we were saying this whole scenario was after Comic-Con and you are tired and, you just want something to drink.
Yeah, you're right.
You don't want to talk shop.
Yeah, mine's not... I'd like to sit next to Mike Flanagan at a convention. There you go.
Yeah, you go. But have a drink with Sam. Man.
Oh, and also, that's true, Mike Flanagan also doesn't drink, so that wouldn't help as well. Sam Jackson, What do you think Sam Jackson's drink of choice would be?
Hennessy. Just because he played a character called Hennessy in Long Kiss Goodnight.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think he's a Hennessy man.
Yeah, I don't see Sam Jackson drinking a pint of beer, you know?
Nah.
At all.
No. Have you seen him in 51st State when he comes to Manchester?
Yes.
Yeah, hilarious.
Yeah.
Hilarious film, yeah. So yeah, he was cussing off our fish and chips, wasn't he?
What
the hell do you do to this fish?
I love Sam Jackson. What's your third choice?
I would like to talk to... I guess it would have to be... You know what? I would. But I would try not to talk about shop. It'd be very, very hard with this person.
Yeah.
Because, they've influenced me more than, you could possibly imagine. It'd be George Lucas. But I would try not to...
Everyone would get... I would love that too.
I don't want to talk about Star Wars. I want to talk about other things.
I want to do the opposite.
Exactly.
I don't want to know what George Lucas ate for lunch.
Yeah. Oh, just want to know.
If I had to guess, it's a turkey sandwich. But I don't want to know who makes the custom flannel shirts that he wears.
No, I'm not even talking about that.
What facial grooming products he uses for his beard. I don't care. I want deep lore Star Wars.
I want to know, look, okay, if I'm going to go Star Wars there, you buy him the drink. Here, George, yeah.
Now, what do you think George Lucas drinks?
George Lucas, wine, red.
Yes, perfect answer.
Yeah. I think you're a red wine person. I would like to talk about the museum that he's building.
Oh,
what's he going to put in there? Yeah, he's building a museum in Los Angeles.
For what?
Visual arts and stuff like that. So you'll have a whole load of Star Wars stuff and all of that sort of thing. That would be basically the conversation we'll have. What sort of stuff that you're going to have in there? Do you know what I mean? What sort of artifacts?
Yeah, that's cool and all, but please tell me the full interpretation of the sequel trilogy that you wanted to make. Because when you hear that, guess what? In my mind, that's exactly the story.
That's the story, yeah.
So
not that Disney business, man. I'm flat out saying
Disney,
if you like it.
Disney keeps my lights on most of the time, so if what they've done is good for some.
Well, they don't keep mine on. It's a whole lot of stupidness. Timothy Zahn books, mate.
But yeah, good choices. Really good choices.
But yeah, yeah. You notice none of us said anything female because we're both married. You know, our wives watching this shit. And they'll be like, yeah, who?
Well, you know who I would like to sit down with is Bryce Dallas Howard. Because
she's smashed it out the park with
making
Mandalorian.
Some of the best Star Wars.
Yeah.
Also, her dad is
what's his name?
Ron Howard.
Yeah, Ron Howard. Yeah.
And I love Arrested Development.
I was about to say Richie Cunningham, but half of you wouldn't know Dave.
There's a show he made called Arrested Development, which I really, really liked. And she grew up on movie sets, so I just feel like she would have amazing stories
insight,
to tell.
Yeah, insight. And that's the one thing. I can't remember, who were we talking to last night? I know it was us talking to Stewie earlier on about how when there's, you go to a wedding and who to sit down next to. I like to sit down next to the older folk because they always got the best stories, especially after they've had a couple of drinks in them. You know what I mean? So...
It's like my experience with you at this convention, sitting down with the older folks. They got plenty of good stories.
Whatever. You know what? On that note, it's been a pleasure talking to you. It's been a pleasure hanging out with you, with your young self. And
I'm not that young anymore, that's for sure.
What else, man? Must be good, isn't it?
What?
Being younger.
What, 31?
31.
I feel like I am 81.
Jesus, when were you
born?
born?
Back problems, skin problems, what?
All right, that's enough. Right. You know what? We shall be back at Comicave, hopefully next month. So we'll have a lot more to talk about. And so thanks for listening to us. Thanks for purchasing from us this entire weekend. You guys have been absolutely awesome.
Yeah.
And so
everyone's been great. And we've, as we said, I don't know if it's official yet, but Des and I should be back towards the end of June.
Yeah.
And I'll have my DC book out, hopefully, which I'll be able to do signings of here, along with commissions. And I look forward to see you guys again.
So on that note, peace in the Middle East.
See you guys.
Laters.